The Laws of Ascension, Chapter 127, Cursed. Lorik calls out to Cyrilda while getting up from the couch. She walks out of the kitchen as Lorik sits at the table. "How are you feeling?" Cyrilda asks him before joining him at the table. "Better, but still sore. My body feels like it's made of jelly right now." Lorik replies, "I'd imagine. You pushed it pretty far." Cyrilda says before sighing. "Anyway, getting to it, there's something I need to tell you. It's the reason I've retired. Well, step back, I still go out into the field pretty often. I was wanting to ask about that. You seem to be still in your prime." Lorik says, causing her to smile. "I used to be a lot stronger. But getting to it, the reason I retired is due to a curse. Back around 10 years ago now, the war with Calvaris was at another lull, like it had been a while ago. Godric attacked in person, along with a few other Grand Mages. However, their aim wasn't to get rid of anyone, but to spark another round of conflict. He tracked down Sarah and activated a magic crystal. This crystal contained an engraved spell from the curse law. I tried to save Sarah, and both of us were caught in the spell. The curse was a curse of entropy. It latches onto a mage's soul and weakens their comprehension of their law. We suspect that he did this to make Sarah unable to comprehend her law. But as you know, it didn't work. Since I was caught in the spell as well, it split between us. All the raw curse energy went to Sarah, which resulted in her curse soul ability. We had to go through quite a few hoops to get there, though. At first, the curse energy fought her soul. We eventually had to go to the Holy Queen and ask for her help. She managed to bind the energy to Sarah's soul, turning it into her soul ability. As for me, well, at first we thought that was it. I didn't feel or sense anything wrong with me. But the next time I used my law field, I sensed the curse activate. It doesn't have curse energy needed to activate normally, so it was in a dormant state. But in my law field, it absorbs power from my soul. Then, the curse of entropy starts weakening me. I had to retire early to prevent morale from dropping even more. We told people it was so I could guard Sarah, but it was just so the soldiers wouldn't watch as my magic withers on the battlefield. Cyrilda explains. "How much does it weaken you?" Lorik asks her. "When I was first cursed, I was a second-tier Grand Mage, almost first tier, but it blocked my advancement and I couldn't further my law. Right now, I'm fourth tier, but the next time I use my law field, I'll drop down to fifth tier. I've used my law field 10 times since I've been cursed. It took 4 times to drop each level, but this time it's taking 3. Cyrilda replies. Lorik nods before closing his eyes. "Oh, right. I'm glad you came by since I forgot this earlier." Lorik says while sitting up. "Before you came and rescued me, Godric and I talked a bit. I was trying to buy time, but he explained why he wants to capture me alive." "Does he know about the invaders?" Cyrilda asks. "No idea. That's not why he wants me. His law, he called it the law of flesh, lets him remake his own body. From what he said, he's used it to become immortal. Using his law, he's able to make himself younger. He told me he's over 250 years old." Lorik says before pausing. What does that have to do with why he wants you?" Cyrilda asks. "His body is immortal, but his soul isn't. He wants my soul law. While I have no idea if he's actually that old, I can confirm his soul is withered. My soul attacks had quite the effect on him when they couldn't even make you flinch." Lorik says, causing her to nod. "That makes sense with the reports. Godric rarely shows his face in public, but he's been on the throne for over 100 years. We had thought that he shared the same name as the previous king. But if he's really that old..." Cyrilda says before sighing, "Thank you for telling me. Keep both this and what I told you between us. I'll tell the king, and we'll see what we know about the law of flesh. Oh, and try to stay here if you can. There are reporters and guilds looking for you. Since we went public with what you did, they're looking to interview and recruit you. But you should be safe here, unless they start digging through your records." Cyrilda says before standing up and teleporting back to the castle. Lorik gets up and turns the lights off after locking the house up. He lies down on the couch and falls asleep. Lorik wakes up the next day to knocking. He groans before pulling himself off the couch. As he walks to the front door, he realizes the knocking is coming from the back door. Lorik turns around and walks to the kitchen, where the door leading to the alley behind the house is. The knocking starts again, louder this time. "Hold your horses!" Lorik practically shouts while entering the kitchen. He walks to the door and opens it. Lorik sees Crow and Monkey standing on the other side. "Good morning, Fox," Crow says after Lorik opens the door. "What are you two doing here this early?" Lorik asks, causing Monkey to scoff. "The boss said we had to come get you. Go change and come with us," Monkey says. Lorik sighs before closing the door. He changes into his dark clothes, cloak, and fox mask before opening it back up. "I'm a bit surprised you two didn't start fighting," Crow says as Lorik walks into the alley and locks the door behind himself. "We're up top. The guards will come running if we do. Besides, this is Fox's house. He'd rip my heart out if I broke it," Monkey says, causing Lorik to laugh. "No, I'd rip off your dick," Lorik says, causing him to shiver. "Anyway, why is Torvin looking for me? And why'd he send you too? He could have just rang the alarm," Lorik asks as they start walking to the nearest market entrance. Word about your identity has made its way down to the market. No one's saying it out in the open, but pretty much everyone knows who you are now. We were sent to warn you about this. It's best that, for the time being, you don't enter the market alone for a while. Let this settle first," Crow says. "Gladly." Lorik replies. They walk the rest of the way in silence until entering the black market. Crow leads the way to the arena. No one tries or says anything as the group walks down the dirt paths. Once they get to the arena, the hunting dogs let them in. Crow and Monkey wait outside the office as Lorik heads in alone. Torvin and Soren are waiting for him inside. "Good morning, Fox. How'd you sleep?" Torvin asks. "Like a baby. Now what do you want?" Lorik asks, causing him to chuckle. As expected, Calvaris has been on the attack since you rescued the princess. They haven't let up, and if anything, are only getting more aggressive," Soren says. "So, we're putting together our first force. This will be a force comprised only of members from the black market. We want you to be the leader of this force," Torvin adds. "Wouldn't one of you be better?" Lorik asks. "No, we can't stay on the battlefield the entire time. We'll need to switch out every so often, so we can't be the leader. There might even be times when we're both needed back here. That's why we think the new wolf would be perfect," Torvin replies, causing Lorik to sigh. "What would I be doing if I accept?" Lorik asks. "You'll lead the troops into battle. We're still working on the exact numbers, but you'd have thousands of soldiers. We have the healers ready, but we're still finalizing the others. You'd be on the side of the battlefield. The main battlefield is going to be taken care of by the kingdom's army. That's where the Grand Mage's stage is. All you'll have to do is hold the line," Soren explains. "How long do I have to hold this line?" Lorik asks. "We'll be rotating you out after a month if nothing changes, so a month at least," Torvin replies, causing Lorik to sigh. "When am I heading out?" he asks with clear displeasure. "In a few days. We're still finalizing everything, and it's not urgent. We'll contact you once we get the exact date set," Soren replies. "We'll go over the plan with you in much more detail then," Torvin adds. "All right, I'll be waiting," Lorik says before turning and leaving. "Don't forget to get a suit ready for tomorrow," Torvin almost shouts as Lorik leaves. "I haven't," Lorik mutters while walking through the door. He finds Crow and Monkey waiting outside the office. "How'd it go?" Crow asks him. "I got a new job," Lorik replies, causing her to nod. "We'll walk you to the exit," Crow says before walking toward the arena's exit. "I need to stop by Spider's Silk first. Need a suit for tomorrow," Lorik replies, causing her to chuckle. "Are you planning on returning this one again?" Crow asks while they leave the arena. "No, I'll be keeping it," Lorik replies. They walk down the streets until they get to a stone building. It's covered in what looks like spider silk. It has multiple display windows showing off various clothes and dresses on mannequins. It has everything, from common day clothes to suits, dresses, and even swimsuits. The three walk in through the glass doors and a bell chimes above them. "Welcome to the Spider Silk. How can I dress you today?" A woman asks while pulling her head out of a rack of clothes. She's hanging up dresses on a rack. She's wearing a tight black dress that covers her entire body. She has long sleeves and stockings that perfectly match her dress. She has long dark hair and a spider mask. It has 8 beady red eyes staring back at them. "I need a new suit, and don't worry, I'm keeping it this time," Lorik says as the woman walks over to them. "What kind of suit?" she asks before leading Lorik into the store. Crow starts looking around, and Monkey waits near the entrance. Something that'll go with silverish gray hair. Lorik replies, causing her to nod. She stoops in front of a row of suits. A few mannequins are standing on top of racks, each wearing a suit and tie. They're all different colors. With that hair, I'd recommend either a sapphire or navy blue or a medium to light gray suit. The Spider-Woman says while motioning to two mannequins. The first has a sapphire blue suit, and the second is wearing a light gray suit. Let's go with the gray. Not a fan of light colors like that, Lorik says, causing her to nod. She walks over to the suits before turning to Lorik. She reaches out, and spider silk sprays out of her palm. It wraps around Lorik gently, measuring his body for her. She pulls the silk back into her before turning back to the suits. She finds a medium light gray suit that fits Lorik and hands it to him. That'll be 200 gold and no returns, Spider says, causing Lorik to chuckle. He takes the gold out of his ring and hands it to her. Then he stores the suit away before leaving. Crow pays for a new dress before they leave and walk back to the entrance they came in through. Crow and Monkey stay behind, and Lorik heads up alone. He changes before walking back to his house.